Hi, welcome back. Do you like my new setup? I feel like this is a little bit more chaotic, but it's cute. Today we're going to be doing an experiment that is going to last a week because I have recently read one of the worst books that I've ever read, and it's called Twisted Love. I listened to the audiobook of Twisted Love and I was like, this is one of the worst things I've ever read, but I've never laughed so hard in my life. If you don't know, Twisted Love is a kind of dark romance. Some people call it a romance, some people call it a dark romance, but it stars a multi-billion-dollar guy who developed a software at 14 and is like a genius, and he wants to get revenge on the person who murdered his family, who he believes is the father of this other girl that he is manipulating into being his girlfriend to get to the father. Yeah. They were not the best. It was not the best story. It was written very, very poorly, and the male love interest was a walking red flag. Definitely a stalker. Definitely somebody who needs to go to therapy. And the protagonist was, just fine. She was fine. However, I've never had so much fun in my entire life. It was a great time texting my friend saying, this is what's happening, and them being like, are you bonkers? Why are you still reading this? I was like, I have the other 3 books in the series for free in my audiobook services. So I was like, might as well listen to the whole series. Also because people told me that the second book and the third book are like the best, they're definitely better. And I want to see how Anna Huang gets to better herself in the writing, because that's all I want, like good writing and a story that makes me laugh. So I gave the first book 1 star. We'll see about the rest of the series. Well, you can see it, but I have a buddy. Hello, ciao Dobby. This is the first, I think, update that I'm going to do on Twisted Games. The second book in the series that I'm reading that started with Twisted Love. This is the one with the princess. The protagonist is a princess, like Princess Diaries style, and her love interest is her bodyguard, her new bodyguard, who for some reason, he is an ex-Navy SEAL. You have a princess from another country, and you pick an American ex-Navy SEAL for a bodyguard. That smells like a diplomatic incident to me. This is definitely better in terms of writing than the first one, definitely. It's still cringy, definitely cringy, but less so, especially because the protagonist is still the same. It's the same exact girl from the first book. She's vaguely nice. That's all there is to it. The difference is that this time she is a princess, so she has more responsibility, kind of. But the main love interest, the bodyguard, he is definitely less misogynistic than the first one. The first one was so... Oh my God. A stalker, misogynistic, a criminal, like jail time for him. This one is definitely less misogynistic, a lot more controlling though. Because he is a bodyguard. No, he's more controlling. Yes, though. The passage of time is a mess. 2 years have gone by in the first 9 chapters and you feel none of it. I thought like a week had passed. It's so bad. It's so bad. And the thing is, you cannot feel the characters' like arc beginning and ending anywhere. They don't change. They don't do anything different from the beginning, so you don't get that 2 years have passed. This book and the others book are all interconnected because they are in the same timeline. So in the first book, the protagonist of this one, the princess, gets kidnapped alongside the protagonist of the first book, and they have like this traumatic accident with the mob, something like that. You only get glimpses in this book, and if you haven't read the first one, you understand nothing. But also if you read it, because I've read it like a week ago, you understand nothing because it's not told to you again. Why? I was waiting for the same incident to be seen from the eyes of the princess. No, it's told to you in 2 sentences. Yeah, I was kidnapped. Huh? Trudge on, I want to finish it. either tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, and then go on to the third book that everybody told me it's the best one. So if this book is an improvement, I hope that the third one is also an improvement on the improvement. The fourth book everybody hates, but we'll see. I feel like I look bald with all my hair pulled back. Hi, it's the next day. If you can hear the music, the bar downstairs is having fun. So yesterday I had a pressure drop so hard that I almost passed out. Just girly things. I actually did go on with the audiobook. This book is definitely written better than the first one. I feel like I've already said that. But it's also like then more boring because not a lot of egregious things are happening. Outside of like the main lead, Reese, I think, he quotes Sartre, hell is other people, saying, somebody one day said, hell is other people. Don't disrespect Sartre like that. Don't do it. And then there's like one of the worst sex scenes I've ever read in my entire life. And the sentence, you are my princess by day and bitch by night, is sad, and I want to erase it from my brain. Things are happening. I don't know. I quite like the protagonist because she's not put in the situation to be in love with a misogynist like the first book. Look at it. Chatabi! He's sulking because it's not lunchtime yet. What I was saying is that he's not misogynistic, he's just controlling and an asshole, and he strips her of all, agency and freedom, and I don't like it, and I think she should just stay single. So she's 22, he's 32, and he's like, well, you're behaving not like an adult, you're behaving like a young girl. She's 22. And this all because she was flirting with a guy. Scandalous, scandalous. One thing that I will note though is that the protagonist should have friends, because we see her have friends, like the protagonist of the first book, and then Jules, which I think is the protagonist of the fourth. Oh, no, maybe the third one, and they just disappear. Supposed to be crowned queen, and her friends are nowhere to be seen. And I'm like, if your best friend is supposedly to be crowned queen, I'm going to be there. I will make sure to be there in the room where it happened. So weird stuff are happening. Let's go on. Good morning. It's the next day. I finished Twisted Games. That was a journey. Most convenient plot point ever to have an happy ending. Like, the most convenient. It felt like a Disney Channel movie, and that's what everybody told me, that the second book really does feel like a Disney Channel movie. And yeah, they were right. Did I explain to you? The second book is like princess and bodyguard trope, right? So she has to become queen for some reason because her brother is a shithead, and nobody confronts him about it. He's such a shithead. And to become queen, she has to marry somebody whose bloodline is also royal. So her bodyguard, obviously not royal, he is an ex-Navy SEAL from America. They have like this secret relationship, but the pacing of this book is atrocious because the plot starts in the middle of the book. Passage of Time is written so badly that I thought they had been meeting each other as bodyguard and princess for 2 months. No, it was 2 years. And it made the story feel so flimsy. Like the fact that they were in love with each other at page 10, it was because 2 years had passed, but I didn't feel like it had passed. So yeah, insta-love, insta-lust, definitely insta-lust, and it was very cringy to read about the spicier scenes. The sex scenes were awful. But it was definitely written better than the first book. However, the fact that it was written better meant that there weren't as much episodes of incredibly bad writing that made me, I don't know, fly away in the astral plane. I laughed my way through the first book. This one felt kind of boring. It didn't have that pizzazz of having just like morons of characters do incredibly stupid things. Like they're still morons in the second book, but felt kind of more normal. Also, the protagonist is definitely the carbon copy of the first one. They're all interchangeable. The men are kind of different. Spoilery section, because I want to make a comment on the fact that, the spoilers, he manages to marry her because he finds out that he's actually a lord or a prince. He has some royal blood in him. The problem is, he is related to the protagonist's cousin. Not by blood, so there's no blood problem there, but to her cousins, which makes the protagonist and the main lead cousins. Nobody talks about that. They're marrying as cousins! I don't think the author really thought about that because it's not mentioned, like nobody mentions it, even like as snarky comments. End of the spoilers. Another thing, and the last thing, before I start Twisted Lies, I think, the one with the brother of the first protagonist, is that Alex Volkov, the main lead of the first book, which I hated, he was a misogynistic piece of shit, makes an appearance in this book, and everybody told me that he's much better in the other books than his book, and they were right, he was actually kind of funny. If I hadn't read the first book, I would love him. Like, he was so funny. 5 stars, on to the next book. Today is International Women's Day, and I have to listen to an audiobook in which a man explains to me, the reader, what a period is. Does Anna Huang knows that her audience is primarily adult women? I didn't really need Josh Chang to explain to me how a period works. They're in a chalet and they're skiing very recklessly. And I used to do ski tournaments, and those people, those who do like triple black diamond ski slopes at like 100 miles per hour, hate those. Everybody hates you, just to let you know. It's pouring outside. I don't know, feels kind of nice. Hi, hello, it's the next morning, and I'm about to finish Twisted Hate. Now, I know that I haven't done a lot of check-ins for this book. In this book, we have 2 major plots. There's the romance plots between Josh and Jules, and then there's the subplot of Jules' past, kind of like criminal past, and there's like this ex-boyfriend who is blackmailing her with, I think, revenge porn. I'm arriving at the ending of the romance plot, but the criminal, like, ex-boyfriend plot hasn't even started yet properly. So I'm perplexed with the pace of the story. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why the author thought that she could like mix and match the plots like that. It's not bad. I don't like Josh. Josh has like kind of like a split personality. He's fine, even funny sometimes when he's like on his own or talking with Alex, reconciling. And then there's the person that he is with Jules, which I hate. I hate, especially in the smuttier parts when there's like sex scenes and stuff, and the things he says are kind of very offensive. Jules I don't like in any capacity. I get that she has a past, very traumatic, but the way that she talks to Josh, and also the way that she completely forgets about her friends, I don't like her. She's not my cup of tea. She is the one of the protagonists, because the first book and the second book's protagonists are all the same. They're like carbon copy of each other's. Jules at least is different, but different in a way that I don't like. And this is the book that everybody told me that is like written so much better and the romance is so good. I'll persevere. I think I'll finish it today, and tomorrow I think it's called Twisted Lies. Not a lot of people like Twisted Lies. They told me that it's very different, but we'll see.
No, cioè lei l'ha scritto come se lo fosse.
In questo senso, cioè, non è esplicitata, però
No.
a quanto pare.
No. E la protagonista assomiglia a Jessica Rabbit, lo dicono 400 milioni di volte, io non ce la faccio più. Vabbè,
Quindi
comunque.
è un furry.
Hi, hello. You're probably going to hear some music. That's the way it is. It's the bar downstairs. This book gets 0 stars. I don't know who deluded me into thinking this was going to be at least 3 stars, because I was liking at least the like thrillery aspect of the story. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The conflict of the story happens. So the two plot lines, the romance plot line and the thrillery plot line, merge into one, and there's the conflict in which everybody realizes what is going on. And obviously, like, Jules and Josh, the two protagonists, are mad at each other for different reasons. But the thing that Jules did, yeah, she made a mistake, but it's a very low stakes mistake. And it's a breach of trust, but it's a very, again, low stakes breach of trust. What Josh said and did. Hello, police! Alex from the first book was eons better, and that was supposed to be like the psychopath of the story. What are we talking about? I don't even care to finish this book. I'm going to finish it, but absolutely 0 stars. So, spoilers, I'm going to talk about what happened. So, Jules was blackmailed into breaking into Josh's house and steal a painting for her ex-boyfriend who was blackmailing her with revenge porn. Keep this in mind. So she resolves the situation, gets the painting back, and goes to Josh, and she's like, this is the truth. I'm so sorry. I was blackmailed by somebody who has a revenge porn video of me because I am a victim of this, okay? And what he does, he says, yeah, don't worry, I forgive you. I can understand why you did that. So they have sex. Mid-sex, he switches up his mind and he's like, actually, I lied. I don't forgive you. And he continues to have sex with her, even though she clearly does not want to, and says that the only thing that she's good for is having sex with different kind of men. After he learns that she's a survivor, that she's a victim. I'm sorry, but I get the heat of the moment. I get that you are confronting your robber, somebody who broke your trust, and in the first book there's another breaking of trust because so it's cyclical for him, but absolutely not. You know what? And I'm at a point where he's trying to make amends because he realizes that he made a huge mistake, and she's like, I don't want to see you again because what you said is unforgivable. And he's like, well, you're mine, I'm never gonna give you up. That sentence only works for Rickroll. Like, Rickrolling people, never gonna give you up. Not in the context of fucking romance, where she's clearly putting up a boundary and he's like, nah. The only good thing about this book is that it introduces Christian, who is the protagonist of the fourth book, and I think it introduces him in a hilarious way. I'm going to finish this book and then I'm going tomorrow, I think, to be giving you an update on the fourth one. We're close to the end. Yesterday I finished Twisted Hate. Hated it, which is ironic. Now I started Twisted Lies, which is the fourth and final book in the Twisted series. Dare I say I'm having fun? Dare I say I'm having fun? The fourth book sees the love story between Stella, who we never really see in the other books. She's really like a little blob in the story, and she's a social media influencer. She has a blog, which dates this book, I think, a lot. She has like an Instagram and then a blog, like a fashion blog. And at the beginning of the story, she has a job in a fashion magazine. At the beginning of the story, she has a job
in a fashion magazine and she runs her blog, and then she gets fired from said fashion magazine because her boss is like Miranda Priestley level of hell, and she has the woman who raised her when her parents couldn't because they were like focused on their careers. She has, I think, early on Alzheimer, so she's not that old, but she doesn't remember her, and she is putting her in a retirement home, like a very luxury retirement home, which is raising the rent, and she has no money whatsoever. And she is trying to procure herself a contract with a, I think, fashion brand that she really likes. And on the other hand, we have Christian, who I actually kind of liked from the third book, I think. He's a hacker, he's very, very rich. He has, I think, hotels and properties and stuff. And dare I say, he is smitten. He's already smitten. Like the first time he saw her, in love. And I kind of like her. I kind of like Stella, and I kind of like Christian. I don't want to know why this book is called Twisted Lies. I don't want to know the lies. But I'm having fun. The writing is definitely better. The plot line, I think it's interesting. It also tugs at your heartstring because I just read a scene in which we meet the woman that raised Stella, and she doesn't remember her, and it's so heartbreaking. It was kind of sweet. I don't know what to say. And everybody told me that this is the worst book, and everybody told me that the third one was the best one, and I fucking hated the third one, and I'm kind of liking this one. So I started the collar on my Homestuck jumper. I want to finish it, maybe the collar today, and I want to finish the book soon, even though it's the longest. Is there fake dating in this book? I love fake dating stories. Oh my god. Could this be the turning point of the series? I love fake dating stories. Oh, I didn't know that. Hello, it's a new day. I started Twisted Lies, the fourth book, the last book. And this is the real plot twist of the series, because I'm liking it. I don't know what is happening. I just like it. I think Stella is a much more interesting protagonist. She is a social media influencer, but she's also like really broke, and her family puts a lot of expectations on her because they are like very successful and very rich. And she feels like she is the black sheep of the family. And also Christian, who is our main lead. He's smitten. He's like, the very first time he met her, it was like, that's my person, that's my person. I kind of like that. Also like, they've just introduced the stalker plotline, because there's a stalker. Stella had a stalker that for some reason disappeared 2 years ago and then reappeared now that Stella and Christian are fake dating. I love fake dating stories. I love them so much. She is fake dating him for, I think, followers, because she is like, if I get more followers, then I can get a more conspicuous contract with a brand, and then I can have the money to put my caregiver into a more, a comfortable life. And he's like, well, I love her. I'm not going to let her go, obviously, but I just want somebody who can accompany me to the galas and the events, and have somebody who can shield me from all the other idiots, because he's like very much like, I'm a genius, you are not. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I don't know if the lies of Twisted Lies part is going to bite me in the ass, but this is my favorite so far. I want to finish it today and don't think I'll manage to, but maybe tomorrow, and then this video will be over. I can't believe that I've read this series almost in a week. Look at this golden hour lighting. But remember when I said that I was enjoying the fourth book and everybody was, nice, and everything was going well? Well, he stabbed a man because he groped her butt, which is something very shitty, but maybe you shouldn't stab him and then pour alcohol on the stab wound and charge him for the alcohol. That's kind of insane. And now we're at the third act conflict, and it's so stupid because the stakes are kind of very low. And I think Stella is kind of dumb, kind of really dumb, and Christian is psychotic, but it's kind of likable, kind of understandable. Stab wounded side. So yeah, I think I'm going to finish it tonight, and tomorrow I will be done with the video. Okay, hi. I'm eating my lunch, and I finally finished Twisted Lies. I am free from this series! It was so cheesy, so convenient, and I actually I don't know, I kind of enjoy it. This fourth book, definitely the best. Definitely, but like leagues better. Christian, the main lead, definitely thinks that he's starring in a biopic for Bruce Wayne, and Stella, a lot of the issues that she had get wrapped up in such a way that it's like, oh yeah, a little bowl for you, and it's like, this didn't have any development at all in the story. Kind of like the situation with her family and her influencing, and it's just like they get dropped and you're like, why was this important? But their relationship was definitely the healthiest. If you can have a healthy relationship with somebody who tortures people sometimes. And the writing was definitely better. I am going to do a wrap up. Not right now. I'm elated, but I have some stuff to do. I have to go back to university. I'll say one thing. This fourth book, I'm reading this and the Daisy Hates book, like the second Daisy Hates, I think it's called The Great Undoing. It's one of the books in the Magnolia Parks universe. You definitely know Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. And the second Daisy Hates book, The Great Undoing, has the same plot points as this book, but done so much better. And I'm reading the Daisy Hates book for another video in which I'm finishing all my series. So reading them side to side, it was at the detriment of Twisted Lies. I may have enjoyed that a little bit better if I hadn't had a better comparison reading wise. I'll see you later with a wrap up of the entire series, but I'm free. I look like I've been hit by a bus, because I am. I'm back in my house and I'm ready to tell you about the Twisted series. Sun's coming down, so I'll be very brief. I finished the Twisted series in a week. It was 4 books, very long, and if I have to be honest, it was not good. It was not good. It was sold to me as a vaguely dark romance. Some people say it is, some people say it's not. About interconnected friends, and each couple had their own romance plot and then thriller plot, which is not always true in all of the books. Because like the second book doesn't really have a thriller plot. I'll say the positives. It's fun. It's incredibly fun because it's incredibly cringy. Especially when the writing was at its beginning in the first book. It was so fun to make fun of these awful men that came out even more awful because of the writing. And some stuff, like some very incredibly stupid stuff happens in these books. The suspension of disbelief had to be strong. Another thing that I think was interesting, at least, is that the writing gets better each book. So not always the plots. The plot kind of dips in the third book. I will say that the writing definitely gets better. Fourth book was actually written decently. First book is a travesty. So we'll go in order. The first one is the one that I'm sorry to have read off screen, but I didn't think it was going to be such a thing for me. And it's Twisted Love. Twisted Love is the worst. It's the worst written. It's also the one in which the protagonist, the male protagonist, is a psychopath, self-proclaimed psychopath, and a stalker. He becomes a stalker for a year. And it's never mentioned as a creepy thing. It's mentioned as, haha, I became a stalker for 1 week. And I was like, but why though? Not all over the place. Romance, very cringy. It's not the worst, but it's definitely bad. Then I read the second one. Second one, it's Twisted Games. Twisted Game is fine. It's the one that doesn't have like that much of a thriller plot. It's about a princess. It's a lot about the romance and much less about like the twisted nature of the series. It's also the one in which we are at the end, so spoilers, but you know, in which she corrupts the parliament to basically get married to somebody, and then he's like, well, I am a lord now, so you didn't have to do that. And then he's like, yeah, I'm a lord because I am the brother of your cousin, which means we are cousins. And it's never mentioned because I don't think the author realized that she made them cousins, not by blood, but they're cousins. So, third one is the worst. Third one is the one everybody told me it was the best one. It was not. Definitely was the worst one. I don't know, I was enjoying myself, kind of. The writing was getting better, and the thriller plotline made more sense. It was about like revenge and having a turbulent past and somebody coming out of that past to haunt you. So it made sense. It was also like about a painting, and I was like, yeah, art. And then Josh says something that you cannot take it back. There are some things in books, like in dark romances, that piss me the fuck off. I don't mind darker themes, I usually welcome them, but if a person becomes a shitty person and also somebody who, in the heat of the moment, his response is to make fun of you for the thing that this person knows is very sore for you and you are a victim of, I will dump him in an instant, but like cut him off completely, toxic to the max. In literature, I get it that sometimes it's very much about escapism. I recently watched the ContraPoints video about Twilight. It's not about Twilight, it's about women in literature and escapism. And she made very good points about sometimes we read the things that we don't want in our real life, but we secretly would think about, like, what is it like? But I don't know, Josh's thing was kind of irredeemable to me, a lot more irredeemable than maybe Alex being a stalker, which in real life, the two things are incomparable. Of course, having a stalker is much more, dangerous, but yeah. And the ending was also a carbon copy of the first one, so I was kind of bored. And then the fourth one is actually not bad. It's mediocre. I think the romance is the healthiest, even though, yeah, Christian definitely thinks he's Batman. He thinks he's Bruce Wayne. And it's kind of like a Bruce Wayne fanfiction in a way. But it was fine. The thriller plotline, the reveal was very stupid, and it was kind of back to the fun, hilarious writing, but it's the best one. It's definitely the best one. So I think I will give the first one 1 star because I was very mad at the very bad writing and the fact that also her trauma, she cures her trauma of being in water because she was almost waterboarded and she almost died in a pool by the hands of a parent, and she gets through that trauma in an instant, the minute he becomes her boyfriend. And I was like, dear God. It was also very cringy sex scenes. Very cringy sex scenes. The second one, I think I gave 2 stars because it was okay. It was kind of boring. I didn't like Reese that much, and the 2 protagonists of the first 2 books are exactly the same. Third one, -1 star. 0 star if I could. Like, I had to give it 1 star, but like, definitely worse than the first one. Fourth one, I gave 3 stars. It's more like 2. It's like a 3-. When you get in a test like an A-, a 3-. Those are my ratings. I cannot believe that I'm finally free. I am free from this series. I am done. I'm almost kind of sad, almost kind of melancholic. But I will find something else trashy to read. Don't worry about it. I have, however, another video coming up very soon about me finishing other series that are very similar to this ones, but very good. this time. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I had tons of fun making it. So if you want me to read another series in a week, please let me know down below. Subscribe, comment, do, you know, the YouTube stuff. And also I have some socials down below if you want to connect with me. I am most active on TikTok. Fun time there. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye!